Pooh so mad cause he can do it like me. Pooh stay mad cause he sippin' that tea. Pooh so mad can't get it like me. Wanna ride out with lovely. When you see me coming to the DKHizouse, you all lit and you know what we're talking about. When you see me coming, step in, step out. When you see me, we gon' run our mile. It's the DKHizouse for sure. You see me coming and I'm coming back for more. When you see me and I see you, we at the Fredo. What's up, folks? Yeah, we're here to talk about Mr. Pretty Boy Fredo real quick and in a hurry. Let's get into some things. Let's go. So, shout out to Pretty Boy Fredo because he is one of those YouTubers that's been on his grind, been doing his thing, and has showed us that he has done his thing. Um, he has a beautiful family, daughter, uh, girlfriend, fiance, whatever. You know, I was kind of, worried about her and him, but hey, he's still invested in it, so hopefully for the best for them. Um, I don't know. I feel like, his girl is coming around. So let's talk about it. Pretty Boy Fredo put his money down and bought him a new house. Well, penthouse or whatever it is, but it's beautiful. I thought to speak on it a while back, but never did. Man, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous, and it has its own pool, and it's in New York. Like, honestly, like a lot of people like New York. The only reason why I don't like New York is because it's cold, bro. And I'm like a warm kind of girl. Like I'm more water, this and that. But a lot of people like New York, and it's crazy to me. I went to New York one time in transit or whatever, just stopping through to catch a train or whatever. And man, I don't know. The feel wasn't just for me. It wasn't my vibe. But I shout out to people who can do it. And if they got houses like this, I don't mind staying in New York because New York is supposed to be expensive. Like even to get a small house, like it's supposed to be really, really, really expensive. So for him to be able to put that guap on a house in New York is amazing. And that house was phenomenal. I'm not gonna even lie to you. It's like a dream home. Like I'm not saying it's my dream home. Like it's one of my dream homes. Like I could definitely be happy living in a place like that. And I feel like DDG kind of talked about it, crapped on it or whatever. It's nice, bro. It's nice. And if he want to move out later, he can. But it's clean. It don't even like it's been lived in. If it has, it looks brand new. So shout out to Pretty Boy Fredo because all his hard work is definitely showing. He's able to purchase the things that he wants to purchase and also give away to people as well. So I'm happy for him. I also am glad he's back on YouTube because at one point I thought he was leaving. He had said he was done with the scene. He wasn't coming back. So shout out to him for sticking it out, coming through because he's helped a lot of people regardless of the bad thing they say about him. I feel like he does want to help people and he has proven that he has helped people even though some people have not deserved it or appreciated it. But he can't make nobody famous. That's up to you. But he put it out there to help people and I love that. Also, shout out to Pretty Boy Fredo for making amends with his biological parents. Because at one time, he went to go visit them. And if he would listen to a homeboy, because I was like in the comments, like, give it another chance, bro. Like, he probably would have never known that he can have a relationship with his parents. That's a void that every child needs filled. To know their family loves and cares for them. Not saying that your parents are perfect. As even dog parents, people are not perfect. Like, people give away dogs or whatever reason. Not saying a child's a dog, but I'm just saying like people do things and then they regret doing them and stuff like that. So I'm sure his parents, because like I had a dog, I got rid of the dog because of certain situations and I just wasn't able to give the dog what I felt he needed at the time. And then later on I was like, dang, I missed the dog. But oh well, and hopefully he's in, they're in a better place or whatever. So, but I was going through a time in my life where I just didn't want to have that dog go through what I was going through. So if that's the case with the children, I'm sure the parents feel guilty, but at the same time, if they feel like they can give their child what they deserve and they need, you know, and they feel like somebody else can do it better. I can see, because at the end of the day, their parents were talking about like they was suffering, they was going through it, and I'm sure the kids would not have cared about that. But at the same time, you don't want to be struggling and you're young and then you feel like your kids. Now, I'm not trying to judge them. I'm not saying what they did was right or wrong, but until you're in that situation, you don't know what you would do. But that has nothing to do with the child personally and their love for the child. And I'm glad that, you know, they have rekindled. And I'm glad that Pretty Boy Fredo is not just showering them with a bunch of money and this and that, even though he has that, because I feel like, yes, they do need to earn that. They do need to deserve that. Because parents, I have had experience where I have family members who do try to use you for a buck. And, you know, you give what you can. You give here and there. But at the end of the day, you are not a bank. You are not a fountain of youth. So, yeah, they have to deserve that. They have to earn that. And I love the fact that he still has a relationship with them. And he's not showering them with all this money and that, because he's not the issue. He did not give him up. They did. So that was their choice. They do have to accept those consequences. But I'm glad to know that he does know that they do love and they do care for him and they do regret their wrongs. Because at the end of the day, like, people can go through their whole life not thinking that their parents care about them, love them, wanted them, especially if you are in a system, foster care system, adoption system. You, in the back of your mind, you're going to feel unloved, unworthy, like whatever. But the fact that he had great parents to show him the way, who stepped in when his parents weren't able to do it, and look at where he is now, like, anybody would be proud of that. Come on. And they were young and dumb. We all had that young, dumb stage. Obviously, his parents are young and dumb, because they even now regretted that they did that. And I'm glad that he has developed a relationship with them. But anyway, I just want to shout out to Pretty Boy Fredo, because I know he gets talked about crazy because he out there doing his grind. But at the end of the day, I feel like he's a good guy, a good man, because he does want his family to work. So let's stop there. Kudos to him. Not saying that Jasmine's the best fit for him, but if you work on something and you strive for something, it can work. Anything can work, especially if two people are working on that common goal. So obviously he sees something in her and his family. He wants it to work out. I was personally getting excited about him and Chris V, but hey, he feels like Jasmine his girl and he wants to be there for his family and his daughter. Then that's on him. Kudos to them. May they work everything out. I feel like he's growing on her and she's letting down her guards. I feel like the only issue with that is she just has a lot of guards up. As women, and you go through things in life and experiences, you can have guards. And I feel like Fredo's a good man, and hope she can see that one day to be a good woman for him and appreciate him. So hopefully that time is sooner than later, and I'll hopefully here. You know, I wish him the best of luck, because she definitely needs to be thankful, because he's basically giving her everything she wants, the world that she wants, and she doesn't have to work for it, beg for it, plead for it. So I feel like that's definitely a version of him showing that he is in love with her, you know, regardless if you get a ring or whatever, because he's making sure her and her daughter and their family is good. And not many men will do that. Well, it's a lot of men who do that if they find their person, but that's commendable for any man. Shout out to Pretty Boi Fredo for being a genuine, real man, because the world needs more of them. And he's a great father. So shout out to him. And like I said, I just appreciate the fact that he's not judging his parents for their, you know, discretions or their mistakes, because in this life, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to learn from them. And the way the parents were talking about it, you know, it was kind of like somebody set their eyes on them kids and they wanted to take them from the parent, and they was not making it easy for the parents to get them back. And that's very unfortunate, because it seems as if they weren't really working with the parents, because it seemed like both the parents did want their children, but the system was making it hard for them to get it back. Even the dad was like, it was out of his control and he was nothing he could do. So that's very sad. That's very unfortunate and very scary, because I do know that sometimes when you're in the system, it's a crazy, crazy world. But the fact that the parents who really, you know, wanted their children couldn't even really get them back or had the means to afford to get them back, and the state just stepped in and took them away, that's scary. That's really, really scary, and the system definitely needs to be changed. But definitely, if that's the case, but I know that was a long time ago, but that's crazy. So shout out to Pretty Boi Fredo for accomplishing his dream, sticking out on YouTube, being an example, and hopefully his beef with DDG Dub will squash, because I really feel like it stems from Dub. He just got in his feelings, because Dub, anytime DDG is friends with somebody, it seems like Dub feels like he needs to be friends with that same person. And it's really weird because mostly all Dub's friends are through DDG. Like, get your own. It's cool. Like, it's really cool. Even when DDG stopped talking to McQueen, Dub reached out to McQueen. When he stopped talking to the Shade, like, Dub reaches out to all of DDG's friends and ex-friends, which is kind of weird. But I've done it before. I've had friends through friends too. You know, I get it. But I feel like the fact that Dub felt slighted by Pretty Boi Fredo, it just caused this other avalanche of stuff. And now DDG is beefing with Pretty Boi Fredo. And, like, I feel like, yes, if you're going to keep bringing up Pretty Boi Fredo, regardless of how much clout or whatever he got, you definitely need a box to just end it and dead it, move around. I basically don't feel like Pretty Boi Fredo has a problem with DDG, but it seems as if the problem stems on the other side. But I feel like an easy conversation would dead it in like 10 minutes or less, and y'all can move on, because at the end of the day, why are you beefing? Nobody hit nobody, nobody slapped nobody, nobody... You know, I feel like the talking crazy is because he was defending himself. So that's what normal people do. So, yeah. So that's all I'm going to say. Hopefully they can come together and stop the foolishness. For sure, for sure. So once again, shout out to Pretty Boi Fredo. Wish him best of luck with his family, friends, and success on YouTube. For sure, for sure. He is one of those guys.
I'm sorry, but I gotta go right now. We come to the end, but I gotta go right now. We still are friends, but you gotta come again. Still a long time with me, friend. Until next time, stay a little, stay alive. Until next time, stay such a guy.